Okay, so on the back side of the review, of the quiz, it says write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line described. So for these problems, God bless you, we need to find the slope of the line that we want to have parallel to. So the slope of the line, it's 2. So M is going to be 2. And the point would be H and K. So I substitute that into the formula, the point slope formula. So that would be, God bless you, y equals 2 parentheses x minus minus 2, which is, what's minus minus 2? It's a plus 2. And then plus k, and k is negative 1. Once you substitute the values, you just have to distribute. So it would be y equals 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1. So what is 4 minus 1? That would be 3. So let me put my equation. So the, sure, y equals 2x plus 3. Okay, so if you don't mind, Roman, just give me a few minutes after I'm done with this page, and then I'll go back to that problem, okay? Because if I go back, the recording just, gets all mixed up. So, okay, so number 13, the answer is y equals 2x plus 3. Number 14. In number 14, it says you want a line perpendicular to that line. So the slope of the line is negative 1. The slope of the perpendicular line is a negative reciprocal of negative 1, which is 1. The point is negative 3, 3, so that's H and K. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and capacity. From the slope? Yeah, since it's negative x, that's negative 1. And the reciprocal, negative reciprocal of that is positive 1. Okay, now let me go ahead and put in that into the equation. That would be y equals, I'm using the slope of the perpendicular line, which is going to be 1. So it's 1 parentheses, x minus minus 3. That would be plus 3, and then plus 3. Then we just distribute. So y equals 1x plus 3, and then plus 3. So 3 plus 3, to simplify that, that would be 6. So the equation would be y equals x plus 6. And that's number 14. Any questions so far? So far, so good. Okay, now number 15. In problem number 15, you want the line perpendicular to y equals 2. Last time when I reviewed for this, I told you to sketch, that line so you can have an idea on what is it that is given to you. So what type of line is y equals 2? Horizontal or vertical? It's horizontal. It's passing through the y-axis at 2. So the question is, what is the slope of that line, y equals 2? 0. So the slope of that line is equal to 0. But I want the line to be perpendicular to that line, which means that it has to go up and down somewhere on the x-axis. So what I need to do is, first of all, plot the point. The point is negative 1, 5. So this is negative 1, and it's 5. So the point is up here. And if I want a line passing through that point and perpendicular to y equals 2, well, that line has to go like this. So what is the equation of a line going up and down? What letter do you use? It's x. So it has to be x equals wherever the line is passing through on the x-axis, which is negative 1. So the answer here, that line has to be the line x equals negative 1. And that's the answer. Okay. Now number 16. In number 16, I told you sketch, what is given to you so you can understand what's going on. Well, here, I can sketch both x-intercept and y-intercept. The x-intercept on the x-axis, that's negative 4. Okay, so that's the point given. The y-intercept is at 2. That's a y-intercept. So my B should be equals to what? What's the y-intercept? That is 2. Now the only question is, what is the slope? Well, the slope is rise over the run. How much is the rise? And that would be 2 units. And what about the run? That would be 4. So it's positive 2, positive 4. So the slope is 2 over 4. And you reduce that. It's got to be reduced. So it's going to be 1/2. And then you just put that into the equation. And the equation would be y equals the slope, which is 1/2 x, and then plus b, which is 2. And that's the answer. Okay. Any questions up to there? Some of you got all those 4 problems wrong. Please, on the review that I'm giving you, the last set of problems, 30 through 35, is this type of problems. Okay? Now, number 17. Number 17 is just graphing. Here we have the slope, that's the m, and the y-intercept. So the starting point, it's 3. And then you're going to move, -1 means which direction? Is down. So you're going to go down 1 unit, and the 2, that means which direction? It's right. So from the 3, God bless you, we're going to move 1 down, and then 2 to the right. And then you put your point. Repeat the slope. 1 down, 2 to the right. And then put a point. Since there's no more, area that I can go to the right, I need to go to the opposite direction. So here, instead of going 1 down, I'm going to go 1 up, and then 2 to the left. 1 up, 2 to the left. And then just connect those points. And that's the answer. Now, number 18. Some of you solved for y. Good for you. You could have done that. But the fastest way to do number 18, see this right here? Well, if I move this number to the right, -2, -2, that is in point slow form. So the point, the slope is 3/4. And the point that you can use is the opposite of 3, because that's the h. What's the opposite of 3? -3. And the k? -2. Right? So that's the starting point. And then just move based on the slope. So starting point is -3, -2. And then move. 3 means which direction? Is positive, so is up, and then 4 means which direction? 4 would be right. So here would go 3 up, 4 to the right. And then you plot a point. Again, 3 up, 4 to the right, and then plot a point. Yes?
Where'd you get the points?
The -3, -2? Okay, first of all, I changed this into the point slow form. The 2, you subtract 2, move it to the right side. God bless you. And then this is the h, and this is a k.
Oh,
So the opposite of the 3 is what you put on the x. That's the h. And just go with the k, which is -2. And that's the starting point. So you can start with that point and just follow based on the slope and just get as many points as you can, and then just connect the points, and that's it. Any questions on number 18? Could you have solved for y and then find the y-intercept and the slope? Sure, you could have done that also. Okay. Next, number 19. In number 19, this is 5 problem, 5 points. It says CD is perpendicular bisector of RS. Okay, so if it's a perpendicular bisector, that means that the slopes are negative reciprocal slopes. So, which of the following could be the lines if you plot them on the coordinate plane? Well, could it be A, 1/2 and 2? No, because even though they're reciprocals, they're not opposite reciprocals or negative reciprocals. 4, -4. No, it has to be one the reciprocal of the other one. It's positive and negative, but they're not the negative reciprocals. 1/3, 1/3? No, that's for parallel lines. So the one that is negative reciprocal slopes is D, negative 7/1 and 1/7. You switch them around, one positive, the other one is negative. Jose, any questions? So far so good? Okay, so that is D. And number 20. You're having one of these on the test, okay? So I'm giving you two lines. Please plot the lines, and then what I recommend that you do is get the slope, because the ones that I'm going to give you on the test, they might look like if they're parallel, but if you check the slopes, just like on the homework, they're not going to be parallel. They will be just neither, okay? So be careful. So on the first one, well, I need to know what is true. Well, I don't really have to graph them. What I can do is just find the slope. WX, find the slope. And YZ, find the slope. Just to avoid that mistake. So I label X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Put it into the slope formula. Let me make this a little bigger. So slope formula would be 0 minus 4 divided by 4 minus 1 is plus 1. So the slope is negative 4/5. And then you do the same thing with the second set of points. Label them X1, Y1, negative 3 minus 1, 0 minus minus, so it's positive 5, and that's negative 4/5. So without graphing them, what type of lines are those two? Parallel. Because the slopes are the same, then they're parallel. You want to graph it? Sure, go ahead, graph them. But I don't really recommend you want to graph them just to double check, but don't rely on making the conclusion just on the graph. Go with the slopes instead, okay? Any questions about the 20 problems? No? Okay, so then at this point, I'm going to go ahead and give you the chance to work on the assignment.
I thought you were going to go over 10.
Number 12? Okay,
10 and
yeah.
12.
Number 10 and 12, okay. So let me just stop this.